I just want to point out something I probably observed that maybe other people didn't observe. And I'm going to put out another silver update probably tonight. I've been working out for a couple hours so far. I'm probably going to do 2 more hours. Not that I'm bragging, but maybe that is a brag. Who knows? But just want to put out something first about some of these people. You know, I really don't like saying I was in the Marine Corps too much. Now that it's kind of out of the bag, whatever the hell it is, fine. Because it becomes a talk shit contest between people. It's almost like when you also have a Harley Davidson or something, somebody talks to you about this, that, and oh, I'm better than you, and that's, and there's a lot of games that go on. So I don't wear like my DD-214 around my neck with a neon sign going with all the different things I did or whatever, wherever I was. Because, I recently got accused of being an admin pogue on stateside, and I can tell you, I guarantee you, I probably was out overseas longer than these people that talk shit to me than they were in the entire time in the Marine Corps. Because actually, when I came back stateside, which was on the opposite side of the country from where I even lived, because I was in Southern California versus New Jersey. I know there's Marines from California, they're stationed in California, they go on float. But I actually had culture shock because I was overseas for, I don't know, over 6.5 years in different parts. And it was weird coming back to the States, I was like, it seemed like a foreign land, Anyway, I don't want to talk about this shit, though. It gets into a talk shit contest, but I just want to warn people about fake Marines, I think, out there, because not that I could prove this, but I saw something on one of the channels, and he claims he's a Marine. He's got like a Russian flag and a picture of the Kremlin and stuff, and he worships Vladimir Putin. And I'm like, how do I know this is a Marine? You don't even know. But I do know this. Oh, the Russians would like to turn a Marine into a propaganda outlet. They would love to do it. But, being online, you don't really know who the person is exactly, what they're about. But, one tip-off was, he called himself an ex-Marine. And actually the terminology is a former Marine. Because once a Marine, always a Marine. You're not an ex-Marine, you're a former Marine. That's one thing that was a gig. And another thing that was a gig was, like, nothing American. It was all 100% Russian flags, Russian everything. And, glorifying Vladimir Putin, who's basically the law of the land in Russia since 2000, since he took over. I also want to point out something about this guy, Vladimir Putin, because a lot of people get behind him because they think he's Christian, but he's not Christian. His father was also, his name was also Vladimir Putin, so the actually current Vladimir Putin is Vladimir Putin Jr., actually. But the father was a staunch atheist, and he was associated and worked, he was actually under General Vlasov, who was a, basically when General Vlasov was captured by the Nazis, he became a Nazi, he convinced the Nazis that he'd fight for them, and he worked suppressing the Warsaw Ghetto uprising in Poland against the Jews and the Gypsies or whatever. They fought against the Nazis very valiantly for days with minimal weapons, against armored cars and everything like that. Jews will fight for Actually, there's a Jewish prayer out there. I should say this, man. It's almost like I shouldn't say this in lieu of all the horrible things that happen, but it's almost like it's kind of a joke. There's a Jewish prayer out there, kind of goes like this: they try to kill us, we won, let's eat. That's what you say before you have your meal, right? They try to kill us, we won, let's eat. The hell with it. So, but I don't know if I should have said that, but anyway. The Vladimir Putin's father was a staunch atheist, and he was an anti-Semite, though, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, if he took part with suppressing the Warsaw Ghetto uprising. Now, Vladimir Putin himself, he became KGB. One of the biggest problems for the KGB was Christianity, because they don't want anything that supersedes the state. All religion, basically, you answer to moral code, you answer to God first, you don't answer to a mankind first, you don't answer to the state first. That's why the communists always hated, and the KGB especially was the enforcement arm of the communists, hated religion. So, you know, here you have Vladimir Putin's father is staunch atheist, and here you have Vladimir Putin that goes into the KGB, and actually his KGB record shows that he was very materialistic and ruthless, and, you know, he had a desire for wealthy, high, you know, expensive things, which still goes on today with his, you know, everything else in his lifestyle. But in other words, my point is, this guy with Vladimir Putin's Christianity talk and him going to church is just an act to consolidate his power. It's basically an image thing, and that's what this guy all is. He's a short shit with a Napoleon ego, because I'm going to state something else. Maybe I shouldn't state it, because maybe it might reveal a little bit about myself, but I used to work for a damn Russian former military officer. I don't want to even say his rank, but he was up there. And he hired me because I was a Marine. He thought he could order me around like a freaking puppet because, you know, I was in the military, and, you know, I didn't like that fucker. I tell you the truth, I didn't like him. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you another story. I used to go downtown. I used to ride into downtown. It was like 60 miles away, and I'd be riding my Harley down there, and he'd be coming in with his, I don't want to even say what car it was, but it was an expensive car, you know, like very expensive. And I'd go by with my Harley with the turnout side pipe mufflers that are straight out, and I'd nail it just to rattle his cage. And of course, he got pissed off at me a lot of times, and actually was there for quite some time because I did a lot of work, you know. But it wasn't just for him, it was for, like, America, you know what I mean? This was American construction, American things that were going on in the United States to benefit Americans. But he was a short shit with a big freaking ego and a head that wouldn't fit through a door like he was Bullwinkle, and it just reminds me of Vladimir Putin, same kind of bullshit. The shorter they are, the bigger they got this Napoleon complex. Probably worse than Napoleon himself, because Napoleon actually wasn't, you know, that's kind of a term that's a misnomer today. Napoleon really wasn't that short for his day, but I've noticed this. And not to say that I'm some giant, I'm just an average, you know, height person. But, you know, not to say I'm knocking short people, but sometimes these people got some, that are leaders, they seem to have to make up for their physical height in other ways. And, you know, dictator and a half. It's an attitude. And I noticed that the Russian officer, he had a completely different attitude than any Marine Corps officer, no matter what the rank was. Thought he was God on earth. And a fucking idiot to the max. I couldn't stand him. I wound up working for his main competitor, and I fucked him up, and we made more money than that guy ever made by far. And gave me extra incentive to work for the American guy that was his true blue American guy. That was his main competitor. So, not that I didn't work hard the whole damn time, but you know, I don't like this. I don't like their attitude, man. In their military or whatever, man, they got an attitude and a half. They do. But somebody that goes on the internet and says, you know, I don't really want to play this Marine shit too much, because it's like the Harley Davidson shit, it's like the gun stuff, it's like no matter what you say, all the bullshit comes out. It's like barroom bullshit, and gets stupid. And but I just want to state this, that Russia loves to have propaganda coming from a Marine, telling people in the West that, oh, it's so bad and Vladimir Putin is great. So, you know, when somebody makes a YouTube channel or whatever the hell it is, or claiming that they're Marine and they're glorifying Vladimir Putin left and right, and they're demonizing the West, and they say, oh, I used to hate communism, and it could be a total fake to the max. And when I looked at it more than 10 minutes, I says, this is a fake. In my opinion, I really came across that this is a fake. Now, if this guy is a legitimate Marine, I think he belongs in Leavenworth. I don't give a shit. They could send a drone. I don't give a rat's ass. Blow his ass up. Fuck him. How's that? I don't give a shit. Really, I don't care. Man, you don't fucking work for Uncle Sam, and you know, if you got a problem with something in the United States, we got the system to correct any goddamn thing there is. You don't go freaking betray the United States and go tell some egotistical asshole in Russia that they're God and praise them and knock the United States left and right. And then he probably wasn't a Marine anyway. I don't know. He might not have been. I don't think he was. You know, there was a couple tip-offs that said he wasn't. So, you know, it's like the flag is a symbol, right? But the big difference about the United States is this. It's that we are different because we have checks and balances in our government. You know, it takes a thinking public and some work to keep it you know, keep it going and stuff like that. And, you know, that's 99% of the problem. People are lethargic. But, you know, we don't have it anywhere near as bad as what's going on in Russia. And anybody that's a former jarhead should, well, they know this. Marines know this shit. They know that shit. You know, just because somebody on YouTube says they make a channel, you know, my channel isn't about I'm a Marine. I've been putting out financial stuff and everything like that, and I'm a former Marine. I used to be one, you know, whatever. Fine, I'm out of it. I've been out of it for years, okay? And, you know, actually, I tell you the truth, you know, it's a lot of hard work sometimes. It's all depends on what you put into anything. That's really what it comes down to. I could say this about anything there is. Any service. The Marine Corps actually, I'm going to probably ad lib a little bit on this, because the Marine Corps actually got a lot more of its reputation, if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, the public reputation, and most of it, not all of it. I mean, there's, you know, Vietnam, there's Gulf War, there's Desert Storm, Afghanistan, and you know, World War I, and Bella Woods, and you know, the Banana Wars and stuff like that. There's the, you know, the Tripoli and Korean War at Incheon and everything, invasion at Incheon. But the one thing, a lot of it comes from people who were not in the Marine Corps too long. Actually, if you look at World War II, probably that's the biggest, you know, where most reputation of the Marine Corps came from in a short period of time, World War II. Those people that did all that fighting were not in the Marine Corps that long, you know. But it's like the organization as a whole, you know. I do know that I am an extremely hardworking, competitive, and dedicated person. So let me put it that way. And you know, people used to say to me after I got in the Marine Corps, "Why the hell are you working to midnight and stuff, like and doing accounting work? See, what the fuck are you doing? You think you're back in the suck? Why the hell are you doing all that shit, round the clock stuff?" Well, it's not that. It's not from the Marine Corps. My discipline does not come from the Marine Corps. It comes from well prior. And I can say that about anybody in my family that went into any military service. The discipline came well prior. So, you know, who makes who? There's some contention there. I just want to put that out. But there is Russian disinformation, and they are trying to split the United States and make division, create hate and dissent. They are trying to foment discord. They are trying to foment division and, like I said, division, but rebellion almost. They're trying to do this. The Russians are trying to do this. And probably when you see somebody that says they were a Marine, if they're being a little bit critical, that could be one thing. But if they got like a Russian flag out there, pictures of Russia, and they're knocking the United States left and right, and they're glorifying the crap out of Putin, and they're calling themselves an ex-Marine instead of a former Marine, it's probably total bullshit to the max. They're probably a Ruskie making a freaking website. So, just got to put that out there, and I will have another economic update on some things that other people aren't putting out real soon, because I don't want to get on with this Marine Corps stuff too much. Let's stick with the economics, and you know, that's what we'll be doing pretty soon. I'll get one out later on tonight.